It's only been on sale for 3 years, but the 2018 Acura TLX gets an update that drops its polarizing shield nose grille and adds a sporty new A-spec model. Despite these changes, the TLX remains a near-luxury sedan with a balanced driving character. The TLX earns a 6.8 on our overall scale thanks to its comfort and impressive features. We'd ask more from the styling, and official safety data hasn't yet been released. Stay tuned. A new grille sits between a pair of reshaped headlights and above a less busy lower bumper, while in back, visible exhaust outlets appear for the first time and join tweaked taillights. In the cabin, ambient light piping along both sides of the center console and new seat designs freshen up what's otherwise a perfectly okay cabin. The new A-spec model will likely receive the most attention. It wears a sportier exterior, a unique grille, standard 19-inch wheels, and 4-inch exhausts integrated into the rear bumper. Its cabin has 2 trim choices for its more heavily bolstered seats, while an A-spec specific steering wheel gives drivers meatier grips. On the hardware front, the A-spec receives a slightly firmer suspension and an active sound control that amplifies intake noise in the cabin. Both the TLX's base 2.4-liter 4-cylinder and 3.5-liter V6 are carried over from last year's model. The 4-cylinder engine works alongside an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, which includes a torque converter, a unique twist, descent power to the front wheels, while the V6 uses a 9-speed automatic to send its power to the front or all 4 wheels. New tech for 2018 includes an updated 7.0-inch touchscreen infotainment system with revamped menus and response times that are up to 30% faster than last year's model. The LED headlights score an auto on-off function alongside standard high beam assist, which should improve on the 2017 TLX's marginal rating in the IIHS headlight testing, while wireless cell phone charging brings a dose of the future to the cabin. With the 2018 Acura TLX, the automaker sets a base price of $33,995, including a mandatory $995 destination charge. That sum will cover a 2.4-liter base model. The new A-spec trim starts at $43,795, while a top-of-the-line TLX Advance sells for $44,745. Acura's excellent super handling all-wheel drive is a $2,000 option on all V6 trims, while 4-cylinder models remain front-wheel drive only. The 2018 TLX is a difficult vehicle to get excited by, especially compared to the more avant-garde designs from Lexus, Infiniti, Audi, and Alfa Romeo. The new grille is a marked improvement, but the TLX still feels too anonymous to give more than an average 5 out of 10. The death of the TLX's controversial shield nose grille is a welcome change that dominates the rest of the exterior treatment. Situated high and splayed wide across the fascia, the new grille and the larger LED headlights are less visually heavy than the 2017 TLX, giving the sedan a clean, refined look. Acura was less extreme with the rear end, delivering mild tweaks to the taillights, adding a diffuser-like attachment to the rear bumper and building exposed exhausts to brighten up the backside. While the V6 model gets an exciting rectangular exhaust outlets, the A-spec model gets a handsome pair of 4-inch canons, integrated directly into the bumper. The exhaust treatment is as eye-catching as the new grille. Changes in the cabin are milder, consisting of revised seat designs on V6 models that includes contrast stitching and piping, V6 technology models and above, only. The result is a more premium aesthetic for the 4 standard interior color themes. The piping also appears on the all-leather Alcantara treatment and full red upholsteries, the latter of which looks fantastic. Ambient light piping appears on the range-topping Advance trim and the sporty A-spec. But many of our past criticisms of the TLX remain. For a start, even with a more prominent grille and a sporty A-spec package, the TLX still feels a little anonymous alongside style-intensive competitors, from traditional mainstream premium brands like Lexus and Mercedes-Benz to near-premium competitors like Infiniti. And while Acura's designers have made significant strides in the cabin, adding piping, of the leather and ambient light varieties, isn't enough to spruce the place up. The 2018 TLX's carryover powertrains are nothing to get excited about, but the arrival of a new A-spec trim to challenge the sporty models from Lexus, BMW, Alfa Romeo, and Mercedes is enough to score the refreshed TLX 6 out of 10 points. Read more about how we rate cars. Right parenthesis. While we've only tested the 6-cylinder TLX and TLX A-spec, the initial performance from the high-end engine is impressive. With 290 HP and 267 lb-ft of torque, off-the-line thrust is strong, and paired with the optional super handling all-wheel drive system, relatively undramatic. At higher speeds, the loftier torque and horsepower peaks, 4,500 and 6,200 revolutions per minute, respectively, come into play, presenting plenty of thrust for freeway passes. But the V6 TLX remains handicapped by its 9-speed automatic transmission. While Acura says it improved the ZF-built gearbox for 2018, it does feel more willing to engage from a stop. Its dynamic abilities are lacking compared to the 8-speed transmission in the BMW 340i, the 7-speed dual-clutch in the Audi A4, and even the 8-speed DCT in last year's 4-cylinder TSX. Even set to its most aggressive, upshifts don't happen as quickly, while the transmission still takes its time on downshifts. Combine that with the simple fact that 9 gears are too many to rifle through while driving vigorously, and we'll continue to recommend the 4-cylinder TLX as the enthusiast's choice. The TLX A-Spec is a bright spot in the range, if only from an engagement standpoint. While the spec sheets say there's a sportier suspension tune on offer courtesy of stiffer springs, firmer dampers, and a larger rear sway bar, the reality is that these improvements are minor. The A-Spec's real trump card is the throatier intake note provided by the active sound control system, as well as a thicker steering wheel and more aggressively bolstered front seats. The changes should do a good job of luring the driver into having fun and push harder through turns, even if the overall dynamic results don't match up. Our main complaint? The A-Spec is only available as a V6. A 4-cylinder A-Spec probably could have helped notch another point here. Past TLXs have traded out ride driving dynamics for ride comfort, and the 2018 model is no different. The quiet, relaxing rides interaction with a cosseting set of front seats, as well as a healthy dose of technology, help the TLX score a 7 out of 10 on our comfort scale. Read more about how we rate cars. Right parenthesis. The TLX really deserves praise for its highway cruising ability. At higher speeds, there's little road, tire, or wind noise. And in the unlikely event you hear something unpleasant, cue up the 10-speaker ELS stereo, which can provide crisp, clear tunes. Like last year's model, the 2018 TLX is home to an extremely comfortable set of seats. But unlike last year, Acura has addressed some of our criticisms with the seat design, introducing handsome accent stitching and piping on the V6 technology, Advance, and A-Spec models. Combined with subtle design changes, the new seats now look as premium as they do comfortable. And they're very comfortable. Wide, heavily cushioned, and just supportive enough in the bends. We'd happily cover 1,000 miles in these chairs. While the now standard Acura Watch suite of driver assistance features is primarily on board to keep both driver and passengers safe, the system also reduces driver fatigue. There's no need to make constant minor steering corrections at freeway speed in the TLX, because the combination of lane departure warning with road departure mitigation and lane keeping assist help keep the car centered. Adaptive cruise control, meanwhile, maintains a safe distance and adjusts speed accordingly. Beyond the changes, the TLX is broadly the same. Head, shoulder, hip, and leg room is unchanged. In fact, the passenger compartment is 93.3 cubic feet, just like it was in 2017. That means many of our complaints from last year still apply. The BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class have more spacious cabins and an extra inch of second-row legroom. Last year's TLX received a disappointing grade in the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety Small Overlap and Headlight Testing, which kept it from being awarded a Top Safety Pick or Top Safety Pick Plus rating. The 2017 TLX did receive a 5-star overall rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, though. With small structural changes and larger headlights with high beam assist, it's possible Acura could improve on its IIHS scores. But until the non-profit can slam a few 2000